Pro Football Focus. Kind of it's my June reading what I'm doing. They have a list of players that they're talking about on by position, believe it or not. 2024 All Breakout Team.
Ooh.
Will Levis, Chase Brown, and they've got a Dallas Cowboy as one of the breakout players at a position. So they're going through all the positions. Like, for example, tight ends have like Luke Musgrave from the Packers.
Okay.
He's involved. Matthew Bergeron, who was with he was
that
with
was the Mozzie Smith.
The Mozzie
debate.
Smith, yeah.
I love that guy to Syracuse.
Wow.
Yeah. Matthew Bergeron plays at Atlanta. They have him as the breakout left guard.
I can see that.
For the Atlanta Falcons. And matter of fact, when you think about Mozzie, but Bergeron had 4 games last season where he didn't allow any pressures in pass protection. They might have been right about that guy. All right. Would anybody like to take a guess of who now? There's a Dallas Cowboy on this list, and it's done by position. Would you like to take a guess who the player is? Would you guys just like to venture a guess?
Is it a guy that really has already broken out?
Not yet.
To us, he really hasn't.
No, he's a.
Okay.
But we believe he's a good player. We believe we have indications that this
Osa.
Osa is a good name.
Overshown.
Overshown's another good name.
Sam Williams.
Sam Williams, another good name. Lucius, you want to venture a guess?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going through this Alan Stein video right here trying to find out where you're at.
I appreciate you doing
about
that.
An hour's worth of
You're
content
honest,
here.
You're honest about it.
I'm scrolling.
You got you. Okay. Overshown's the name.
Okay.
Overshown's the guy at linebacker. They said if Trenton Simpson's spot on the team is involved in a lot of projection, Overshown requires even more. He played just 46 preseason snaps his rookie season before tearing his ACL ended his year. He was expected to compete for the starting snaps in 2023, though. He earned a 74.7 PFF grade in the preseason before the injury.
I do have a couple of bones to pick. The first is with ESPN, who on Stephen A's First Take show today had the graphic and asked the question and probably spent upwards of 5 to 10 minutes discussing who's more disappointing, the Mavericks here in this postseason in these finals, or the Dallas Cowboys getting absolutely blown out in disgusting, embarrassing fashion, just crapping in their helmets for 4 quarters versus the Packers. Who should the Dallas fans be more upset at? And it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, and what a joke of a segment. This was Stephen A., who I guess must have been getting trolled by the Dallas fans and asked about the Cowboys because he's so outspoken about it. He's like, how can I find a way to get the Cowboys involved in this finals talk? It's obviously the Cowboys. We were thinking at the trade deadline, are the Mavs making the playoffs? They end up making the damn NBA Finals. This has been incredible.
Yep.
The Cowboys were like, this is their best chance to make an NFC Championship game.
Second overall
the 95 season,
yep.
right?
Yep.
No, they're one and done. And it wasn't even close. I mean, that game was over after the first quarter against Green Bay. It's not even a question.
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. I think the Cowboys stuff is far more disappointing than what the Mavs have done. I think the Mavs have taken us on an incredible ride. I really do. And I salute them. It's not, again, the numbers say it's probably over with. I think they'll win tomorrow night, like we talked about. But it's been an incredible ride with the Mavs and how they played, and their ability to go out and get players, and then their coaches, with Kidd. I mean, there's a lot of fans that we've had calling our show and say, "Hey, get rid of Jason Kidd," and I think we owe them all an apology for that for sure. But this has been an incredible ride.
If you want to make it about the Cowboys in somehow, some way, you're going to have to be more creative than that.
That's so pathetic.
Yeah. And we also got to call out NFL and CBS, their Twitter account. Don't be tweeting out graphics of the last 50 starts comparing Mahomes and Dak Prescott and showing how their regular season win-loss and their pass touchdowns and their interceptions and their pass rating and the completion percentage and stuff is basically identical. Don't do that. Okay, we got to start watchdogging NFL and CBS now. In no way, shape, or form does Dak need to be in the same graphic as Pat Mahomes, okay? You're being disingenuous in every way, all right? The only graphic we need to see is Mahomes championships and Dak Prescott's playoff failures, okay? That's all we need to do. Don't need to see any regular season comparisons between Mahomes and Dak Prescott. Get out of here, NFL and CBS.
Just one exception, if you will. If you wanted to do this graphic and say, this is why regular season stats don't matter.
There you go.
Then I would like that segment. Brian, how about you?
No, I was going to ask you.
Really?
Yep.
So the moving on from Dak is you're full both feet in right now, aren't you?
Both feet.
Both feet.
Both feet.
And you've been consistent about that.
Yes, and it's a lot of it has to do is because I can't move on from the Joneses. So
yeah, well, that's fair.
I don't have that option.
That's fair
because that's the better option.
That's very fair.
But that's not one.
Nope.
Okay, which of these bets do you guys like? The NFL win total betting at BetMGM. The most bet overs. You have the most bet over is the Steelers at 7.5 wins. That's the most bet. Would you bet that the Steelers go?
It's like 17 years and straight.
It's
Mike
a lock.
Tomlin
It's an absolute lock. They can be sitting there like 5 games under 500 with 5 games to play, and Mike Tomlin's going to find a way to have 9-8.
The second most bet over ticket for win-loss is the Bears at 8.5.
Yeah, I say the Bears.
Wow.
I thought the Chargers would be on that list too.
Chargers are not. I just have the top 3.
They're betting the over on that?
They're betting the Bears are the second most have the second most tickets in terms of the over for their season win-loss at 8.5. 8.5. That's a lot. Now they got an easy schedule, one of the easiest schedules in the sport, but that's still a tough division, and it's still youth all over the place, and and it's the Bears.
Got skill. Come on. Got skill at wide receiver now. Finally got that taken care of.
They do, and I like what they got at running back too.
Oh.
What do you like the over?
I would bet the under on that myself.
Okay,
you said 5.5?
8.5.
Yeah, that's too high for me to bet.
It's a no bet for me. I mean, just putting my money in the hands of a rookie quarterback is just that's 7 wins last year though, and they spent money, they acquired players, just 2 more wins with that schedule. It seems pretty doable, but I'd want nothing to do with betting it.
And the third most bet over ticket wise is the Panthers 5.5.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. I'd still go. I mean, look, I think Bryce Young was put in a terrible situation, and his career is probably going to die because he's still probably in a bad situation. Maybe Dave Canales is a quarterback guru.
What team, real quickly, you think is going to end up with the number 1 overall pick?
It's a great question.
My pick is the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I like that.
I think New England. People think Carolina might end up again with the number 1 pick, and this time get to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I think New England is going to end up being the worst team in the NFL.
I like that as a take right there. That's a bad roster. It's a very bad
with
roster.
A rookie quarterback.
Rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
If they even play him, we'll see. Otherwise, it's Brissett.
New coach.
Tough division.
Yeah.
At least with the Bills and Dolphins, we'll see about the Jets. But yeah, I would agree with you. You had Sean Payton admitting that he wore sunglasses to practice while coaching for the first time in his entire career because he just had cataract surgery on his left eye.
Yeah.
Apparently, he revealed at the end of season press conference, which was not something that I was familiar with, but it's resurfacing now because he just got the cataract surgery. Apparently, at one point during the season, Sean Payton revealed that he was going to get his eyes fixed because in the offseason, during the season at one point, he called the wrong play on his play sheet at least one time.
Yeah.
So I guess his vision was so bad he was, and he's got one of those wild play sheets like
he
kind
has
of a
it.
cheesesteak one.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the font size and everything is super, super tiny.
Tough.
But he called the wrong play at one point, and so he had to go. That's exactly
Maybe it's time to hang him up.
Apparently, dude. Okay, so we have these new kickoff rules in the NFL, right? And
it's going to be crazy, boys. Just watching them practice it's going to be crazy.
Well, I mean, this is the kicker still kicking from the 35-yard line.
Right.
Teammates line up on the other team's 40. The receiving team's 9 or 10 blockers line up on their own 35. I mean, we've pretty much ran through and discussed it. But the interesting thing now is, in the beginning, no one's going to know all the tricks, right? So everybody's going to be trying different stuff. We know some teams are thinking about having a non-traditional kicker, like an actual player,
like Eric Reed in Kansas City.
Who's a guy who has some kicking ability, but also can tackle. Like now he's an 11th man who can be.
Don't overthink that.
Well, Justin Tucker's adding bulk to try and be able to tackle people.
Don't overthink that because I've watching practice the other day. Any kick that's short that a returner has a chance to run up on while everybody else is stationary will be a disaster for the kicking team. So if you're
that's why you want your kicker to be a safety.
No, but I'm saying you want to have the ability to kick the ball down.
You got to boom it. You don't want to be short.
Leg. I was telling you, if your kicker decides if your safety kicker mishits the ball and they're running up, like they punch it up there and it's short and they're running to it to field it,
he's gone.
he's gone.
Where's our guy David Beeler? This would have been so perfect for him.
I believe he's
telling
coaching
you,
volleyball.
I tell you, the biggest returns this year are going to be on kicks where the kickers hit him, and then the returner is allowed to run up on the ball.
Wow.
Because you think this could be a one and done rule? Like this just doesn't go well.
I'll tell you this: every time the Dallas did it the other day, just working on it, the ball was at the 50.
Wow.
Every single time, because you can't react fast enough with the guy coming forward, and then
because he's catching the ball on the move, and everybody else is just stuck.
I am finding ways to like punch the ball and like line drive kicks and make the guy try and handle it. And as he's goofing around with the ball trying to handle it, now your guys can go. But
what do you think's going to happen on a good kick that goes and lands at like the goal line?
Well, that if it's a stationary thing, if it's just stationary, then I think the ball's still going to get out to the 30. Because you watch it, it was really evident watching the kicker hit the ball and everybody just stand there.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Deuce Vaughn or Turpin catches the ball, and now they're off. And even catching the ball at the maybe the 8-yard line, 10-yard line, they were past the 30, 40-yard line already by the time everybody had reacted to the play. So there's going to be some touchdowns this year on this thing.
That's what they were hoping for.
Yeah,
they wanted more special teams scores,
and this probably helps Turpin, right? Because he's going to be able to get to that corner.
He got to the corner really quick a couple of times on this thing.
This might be the NFL trying to help the Cowboys make the NFC title game, actually, now that I think about it.
Turpin leads the league in touchdowns.
The Athletic reports that there's an NFL coach that is actually in touch with EA Sports' staff and their Madden building of this, because Madden is going to be out before the season starts, and so they're going to have to construct the new kickoff stuff in the video game. So apparently EA Sports staff has held weekly calls with a current active NFL coach to talk strategy.
Yeah.
He says we're having calls with him to understand how the NFL is going to handle this. It gives us a unique opportunity to lead. We're going to be playing football and kicking off before the NFL. So he says, I hope you're going to see us do things with the kickoff you may have never thought of before, and the NFL is going to follow us. He says, this coach has never seen it before on an NFL field with NFL players. So he was like, I bet Madden's working on this. We're wondering what they're going to do with this. We just developed a codependent relationship, and every week we're building. So there's at least one coach, I'm assuming a special teams coach, that is kind of working with helping Madden to some extent, giving them a window into like the way these coaches are thinking about it. But I guess in some ways this coach is getting helped by, I don't know. But they're pulling out all the stops right now, man. That's going to be probably one of the most interesting storylines early on in the season. Like, how does this develop?
Yeah.
Are we going to get an opening night? Are we just going to get a bunch of returns for touchdowns to start this thing off?
Dude. Preseason's going to be fun to see this.
What was neat, and I probably can't get into it because, again, it's a scheme thing. There were some things that Bones was doing blocking wise that makes a lot of sense. Like the way, because you can't move. But there's also ways to split up your guys to make sure that you can maybe create seams also is a way to do things. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun, I think, for the NFL.
And then the one stat of the day I will bring you, I saw from Warren Sharp, the last time that he's got basically the years since each team had their last defensive shutout. And we know, like, Dallas obviously was in there this year. Every team has done it within the last 15 years, except for the Washington Commanders, who haven't pitched a shutout defensively in 33 years.
Yeah.
That might be a pretty good pick for number one pick as well. Yeah,
Commanders?
What they lost on defense, rookie quarterback.
Giants not bad, too.
I think New England's got a terrible roster.
They do.
Nice.
They do.